Well, as we head to the beach or the pool this summer, we cannot forget to pack sun protection. The Food and Drug Administration is issuing new regulations for sunscreen. So to talk more about that and protecting your skin from the sun is dermatologist Dr. Pennie. And Dr. Pennie, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
This is so important, especially in Florida. It is so hot, but really everywhere around the country this time of year. Very hot.
Yes, yes. And it's oftentimes very confusing information about sunscreens, about what's out there, so many products, what to use. So I'm sure you have lots of great questions for me.
Yes, okay. What's the first thing about these new FDA regulations?
Yes, well, there's been many years in the works. The FDA is really looking at their labeling of sunscreens and try to improve it to help the consumers. So now it's scheduled to come out in December 2012. And the most important is changing the labeling to have an indication of both UVA and UVB protection. So we talk about SPF of sunscreen, that's your UVB protection. It's one of the type of rays of the sun that causes the burning sunburns. But the UVA is equally important. It causes premature aging, DNA damage, and as well as skin cancers. So it's good to have a rating system so we know what we're buying.
Okay, and on those sunscreens you might see SPF 100, SPF 30. Are those really high numbers any better than, say, just the 30?
Yeah, generally I recommend SPF 30. It's blocking about 97% of the sun's rays if used correctly, so the right amount and reapplying. When you go to SPF 50 or SPF 100, you're getting maybe 98% of the sun's rays that are blocked. So not much incremental benefit. I'd rather have someone use SPF 30 and use more of it and apply it more often.
That's right. And speaking of that, how often do we need to reapply?
Every 2 hours, and more often if you've been in the water. A lot of the sunscreen actually get used up as you get exposure to the UV radiation. They absorb that heat and that chemical is used up. So after 2 hours you don't have that anymore, even if you haven't gone into the water. So very important to reapply.
Okay, and is there a difference between sunblock and sunscreen?
Yeah, there are differences. So sunscreens are typically chemicals and they absorb the UV radiation, and those are the ones that can be used up, like avobenzone. Sunblocks are physical blockers and they actually reflect the UV light. So that's titanium oxide and zinc oxide. So I love those ingredients in sunscreen because you're really getting a very broad spectrum protection.
So something that has both of those in there. Okay, and then last thing, what about artificial sun tanning products like the lotions and the spray tans?
Yeah, it's a great alternative to someone that just wants some color. The DHA is the main ingredient, and it's been approved to use safely on the skin as a topical application. The recent concern is about using it in spray tanning booths or airbrushing, is that you're inhaling a product that's never been tested as an inhalation product. So be very careful with that. I prefer that patients and everyone use more creams and lotions.
And some of those lotions even have SPF in them now, so it's kind of like doing it. I've seen that at the store, so that's a double duty.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Dr. Pennie, for being with us.
Good to see you.
And remember your sunscreen this summer. We'll be right back.